Hey babies, guess where Mimzie's been? I've been digging in the shed and I came out with 2 boxes of picture books and I'm so excited. I've been digging and picking through and I went ahead and got a Caldecott because you know I'm a big fan of the Caldecotts and it's a little warm outside. I checked the UV index and it wasn't supposed to be like this, and I fell asleep out here in the sun without my hat on or my extra UV, and my skin girl sometimes watches my videos and I might get in trouble because that was an accident, and the UV index was 2 to 4 today. Whew. Anyway, we're going to read us a book. The relatives came, and I'm excited about this book because this coming up weekend the relatives are coming and I'm so happy to see all my relatives. Well, a whole bunch of them anyway, not every last one of them. And we're going to have a big time down at the river for Memorial Day, and I am so excited. Except for some of those that have to stay behind at work. All right, the relatives came. Can you see all the pretty pictures? I want you to see all the pretty pictures. All right. This box of books, some of the books in there belong to me, some of them to my kids, some of them I bought for the teaching of sciences. Got all kinds of books in this boxes. Ready? It was in the summer of the year when the relatives came. They came up from Virginia. They left when their grapes were nearly purple enough to pick, but not quite. I got relatives that came from Virginia. They had They had an old station wagon that smelled like a real car. And in it they put an ice chest full of soda pop and some boxes of crackers and some bologna sandwiches, and up they came from Virginia. They left at 4 in the morning when it was still dark, before even the birds are awake. That's how it's going to be when Mimzie and Papa and all the babies and cousins and kids, we all go to Mississippi for the big wedding this summer. We're going to load up with Cokes, because we don't say bottles of pops around here. We just call them all Cokes. We don't say soda pops. And we're going to have cheese and crackers and sandwiches, and we're going to have a big time. Probably some Little Debbie's and beef jerkies too. All right. Because I'm reading a book, they're going to start getting involved. Oh, look at this. There's hoots and hollers. Oh, that does look like Virginia. That's not what it looks like where I'm going. They drove all day long and into the night, and while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses and different mountains, and they thought about their almost purple grapes back home. They thought about Virginia, but they thought about us too, waiting for them. I've seen houses like that when I traveled to Virginia. So they drank up all their pop and ate up all their crackers and traveled up all those miles until finally they pulled into our yard. Yay! It was just like that for me when I was a little girl and we would go visit relatives in Kentucky. I was always so excited. Look at all those relatives. Look at how much fun they're going to have. Look at that guy. He is so happy to see his little grandson. And look at this. Oh, we're so happy cousins. Oh, this book makes my heart pitter-patter. Then it was hugging time. Y'all know about hugging time? Mimzie knows about hugging time. Talk about hugging. Those relatives just passed us all around their car, pulling us against their wrinkled Virginia clothes, crying sometimes. They hugged us for hours. That's how it is. Then it was into the house, and so much laughing and shining faces and hugging in the doorways. You'd have to go through at least 4 different hugs to get from the kitchen to the front room. Those relatives. Y'all, on my mama, that's how your Mimzie grew up. That is just how it was, because we had whole lots of relatives. Nowadays, lots of my relatives are gone, so I'm going to enjoy this book. And finally, after a big supper 2 or 3 times around until we all got a turn at the table, there was quiet talk, and we were in 2s and 3s through the house. When I was a little girl, we used to go to my mama's house, and it'd be like that. Nowadays, everyone comes to Mimzie's house. The relatives weren't particular about beds, which was good since there weren't any extras. So a few squeezed in with us, and the rest slept on the floor. Some with their arms thrown over the closest person, or some with their arm across one person and a leg across another. That's how it's going to be at the cabin this weekend. It was different going to sleep with all that new breathing in the house. I remember these days. Are we recording? Yeah, I'm recording. Look at that. Somebody's getting a haircut. We're playing yard games. We're playing with boxes, digging holes. The relatives stayed for weeks and weeks. They helped us tend the garden, and they fixed any broken thing they could find. Well, that was so sweet. We didn't stay weeks and weeks, unless you count my grandkids coming to stay with me in the summer for weeks and weeks. They ate up all our strawberries and melons and promised we could eat up all their grapes and peaches when we came to Virginia. Look at that. They having a sure enough hoedown. Look at all those instruments. My people not very musical. I got in-laws that are musical, but my people, well, there's some that are some, yeah. Yes, I got a first cousin once removed, and he is very musical. All right, my son-in-law, but I'm talking blood. But none of us thought about Virginia much. We were so busy hugging and eating and breathing together. Finally, after a long time, the relatives loaded up their ice chests and headed back to Virginia at 4 in the morning. We stood there in our pajamas and waved them off in the dark. We watched the relatives disappear down the road. Then we crawled back into our beds that felt too big and too quiet. We fell asleep. And the relatives drove on all day long and into the night. And while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses and different mountains, and they thought about their dark purple grapes waiting at home in Virginia. But they thought about us too, missing them. And they missed us. And when they were finally home in Virginia, they crawled into their silent, soft beds and dreamed about the next summer. Oh, I like that, but Mimzie's is down memory lane. I could sit here and tell you all about my memory lanes right now. We traveled when I was a little girl. We'd go to visit relatives in Mississippi. And do you know, even though I'm from East Texas, I do not like a grit. I just cannot like grits. And everywhere we went traveling to Mississippi and Kentucky, they gave you grits. I do not want a grit in my life. And fried eggs, I like the middle runny. Everywhere we went, we always had hard middles. That was traveling as a little girl. This last summer, I traveled all the way to Florida with my little grandkids, and I traveled all the way to Virginia with my little grandkids. So we saw lots of exciting new things. And this summer, I'm traveling with them again to Mississippi and then to Alabama. We're just going to cover all over the South with those babies, and we're going to have a big time. And this weekend, my family's going to load up and come see me. I'm so excited. I hope you got lots of big family. I just love family time. That's probably why 4th of July is my favorite holiday, because I get to see my nearest and dearest. And I just love it so much. But not, you know, but not as much as I love you.